Happy Monday. Welcome everyone to episode 3 of the Wealthy Me podcast. I'm Tasha, your host, and I show women how to step into their wealthy era where wealth is defined as joy, ease, and freedom. And this morning, we're going to be talking about survival mode. This is the total opposite of your wealthy era, and basically how to get out of survival mode if you are in it, how to get out of survival mode and start to manifest more ease and abundance in your life. So if that's you, let's go. Say your hellos, love on each other, happy Monday. I want to start off with a story of mine that really, I think, helps us to understand, are you in survival mode? How can you tell if you're in survival mode? Because when this was happening to me in my life, I did not think that I was surviving at all. I thought, wow, I'm doing pretty good. So this was, maybe 12, 14 years ago. I found myself in the situation where I was doing some work for an organization and I was getting paid $75 an hour. And basically it equated to $600 a month. $600 a month. And I loved what I was doing. I was getting this $600 a month for 2 years. And the point came where it was like, my business partner at the time, I also started a new business, said, why don't you give up this $600 and like go all in for this business? And I was like, whoa, wait a second. Hang on a second now. This $600 is guaranteed. Every month, this $600 a month is guaranteed. I can count on it. I know it's going to be there. And it might not seem like, a big deal. And obviously it, in her mind, wasn't a big deal. But for me, this $600 was life. And so I was thinking about this and reflecting on that time in my life and asking myself, why would a woman who at the time had graduated top of her class with a master's degree in international business and international banking, why would she feel safe with $600 a month? Why would a woman who had the receipts and the resume to prove that she was way beyond, right? At this point, I had built a 7-figure business. I had done a lot of other things in my life. I had had a $100,000 a year job. I'd done a lot of things in my life to prove that I'm capable of earning more than $600 a month. But why was I for 2 years just so stuck on being there in that number? I'd won awards, national awards. I was being recognized by the organization that I was a part of. I've always known I'm a hard worker. I'm willing to work hard. And so, it's like my daughter would say, Mom, make it make sense. It was not making sense why a woman like me would be willing to settle for $600 a month. And so I want to explain what happens, why we make these decisions, why we choose to survive. My brain had just watched me go through filing Chapter 11 bankruptcy, an unexpected divorce, newly unemployed, no business, no income, like needing to figure it out for the first time in my adult life with a mortgage, 2 kids, a car note, college to save for, all the things. My business had just failed very publicly. My confidence was shattered. I looked around at my life and the people that I thought would be there to support me and like cheerlead for me with my business ideas. They weren't there. And so my brain was like, you're in danger. You are in danger. We need to create a structure that will keep you safe. And so what my brain did was my brain actually created what's called a safe me identity, right? And so I just want you to take a moment right now and ask yourself, can you relate to anything that I'm sharing? Do you feel like you are in survival mode or you can recognize when you have been? If not, I'm going to share some of the things that I see like across the board with my clients when I know they're in survival mode. Number one, they get really quiet, right? They just go missing. It's like send out an SOS, because if you want to know if a high achieving woman is treading water and barely surviving, you don't hear from her. She just goes under lockdown. She becomes hyper protective, hyper trying to figure it out. And that's just my telltale sign. But here are a couple others. Hyper independence. This is the woman who, yes, you can deliver, you can create, you can do all the things, but you very much have a brand of all alone. It's all me. I'm going to do it all alone. And so you're constantly in this like struggle to figure out all the things that need to be done and carrying it on your back. You're very much in I'm the lone ranger out here. I got to figure everything out. It's all on me. And you are, yeah, you're figuring it out, but you're treading water, right? Chronic emotional self-protection. Women, when I see women who, just really um, work extra vigilant, extra hard to make sure that their emotions are not on display, not exposed, not up for critique. It's one of those things you start seeing, I hear women say, oh, it's really hard for me to dream. I don't dream big. I try to just stay safe. I try to stay under the radar. I'm not too happy. I'm not too sad. You walk around with this lack of trust, and this is where it gets really dangerous, because now when you're in survival mode, you not only don't trust yourself, you really also don't even trust God. You don't trust God, don't trust the universe, you don't trust people. So now you really have no support, and it's all always back to hyper independence. It's all on you. You only know how to rely on yourself. You cannot rely on anybody else. If it's going to get done, it's going to be up to you, right? You stay very busy because in your mind, busy is safe. You don't rest because you feel like rest is death. If you are not being productive, if you're not being busy, if you are not constantly, your calendar is always full, it's like your brain has made you believe, no, that's really dangerous. Can't do that, right? Because that is a threat. So if you are feeling what I call responsibility fatigue, you've been carrying the burden of making sure everyone else is okay, the family's okay, the parents are okay, everyone's emotions are in check. You are treading water emotionally because you're just so fatigued from the responsibilities that you're carrying for everyone else. If you walk around armed and ready, waiting for the other shoe to drop, you literally are, just like in prepared for battle mode all the time, looking around. One of my clients messaged me some time ago and she said, Tasha, like, is something wrong with me? Because everything is going really wonderful in my life and my business right now. Like, I'm having the best year yet, but I just find myself like expecting the other shoe to drop. Even when she's thriving, right? Even when you're thriving, you can still be in survival mode. So it's like the constant expecting the threat to show up, the hypervigilance around worst case scenarios, just always thinking through worst case scenarios. One of my clients sent me this message and she said it best. I couldn't say it any better than this. She says, I've really felt so vulnerable being me. The paralyzing fear and anxiety have controlled me for so long. When I think about the things I have avoided and how I've calculated every move in my head in advance, looking for all the vulnerable spots, all the possibilities of what could go wrong, what could happen to me, it's exhausting. So anybody, I'm going to jump over here in the chat. Anybody from anything that I've shared so far, you're like, yep, definitely calling myself out. I see how in some ways I'm operating in survival mode. And you know what? Based on your life experiences, if you've had rejection, past failure, financial instability, people have betrayed you, your brain has just done what it was made to do to protect you. And it's created a safe self identity for you. Now, talk a little neuroscience real quick. What that means is that in your brain, there's a part of your brain called the default mode network. This is where it stores all of the betrayal, all of the rejection, all of the past failures, all of your insecurities, all of the times you were bullied, the time when you tried something and it didn't work and you failed and you went through financial instability and you genuinely, your amygdala kicked in and you were in fight or flight and fear. And your brain was like, all right, My job is to protect her. So I am going to create this identity where she stays in survival. You're just treading water. You're never drowning, right? So you're not drowning, you're not sinking, right? The roof is still over your head, but you're also not swimming. You're really not going anywhere. You look around and all of these amazing opportunities are kind of like just circling. Women tell me all the time, it's like, Tasha, I can see it, I can feel it. I know that I see all the possibilities, but I just cannot bring it down into my reality. Why? Because that would be swimming. And your brain is like, no, 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 that's risky. If you start swimming, we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know where you're going to end up. You might go back to failure and rejection. And so all of this is stored in this part of your brain called the default mode network. I always like to emphasize default, because that's really what's happening is you are repeating a default that your brain has decided this is the identity that you are. Actually, I'm going to give you like a total truth bomb right now. Your brain has already predicted the rest of your life. Think about that. Your brain is a prediction tool, right? There's what's called a prediction coding loop. And your brain, based on everything that's stored in a default mode network, and oh, by the way, your brain is really intelligent. Don't underscore it. It's got what's called the cingulate cortex, which is the security guard, the guardian of this survivor identity. The second you try to do anything like thrive, your brain, this part of your brain goes, no, 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 out of character. It's kind of like a head school mistress. Nope, bad girl, stop that. Don't go there, right? Get back in character. We only stay in survivor mode. But think about that. Your brain, which is a prediction tool, is predicting based on your entire past, the rest of your life. Right now, your brain has already decided the identity that you are, who you are, and therefore, based on this identity, it has predicted the rest of your life. And it is literally going about your life. It's literally reorganizing your life to match the identity that it has decided this is who you are. And who your brain thinks you are is a survivor. Your brain thinks its job is to keep you surviving. Not thriving, surviving. Its job is to keep you the same. I know a lot of times, and I've said this often, what really got me was I used to think my brain, the job of my brain is to keep me safe. And I kind of feel that kind of feels warm and fuzzy. Yeah, my brain is here to keep me safe. No, that's jack shit. Like your brain wants to keep you same. You need to hear it like that. Your brain's job is to keep you status quo, treading water, surviving. It does not want you swimming off, going anywhere and thriving. So let us call it what it is. Recognize that if I watch the movie of the rest of my life, where my brain is going to predict everything that happens from this point forward based on who it thinks I am as a survivor, is that the life that I want? Right? And for me, the answer is no. I like surviving is not okay. I want to thrive. I believe that if you're listening, you're here, you are a thriver like me, surviving, like we've done that. And actually, the intellect is so interesting because what happens is when you think you're treading water, it's better than drowning, right? You're still alive. So it's better to be treading water than to be drowning. And so you think it's the illusion of, well, at least I'm alive, at least I'm safe, at least I'm still here, at least I'm safe. But the reality is, one of my clients who I believe is on here, she said something that is the most powerful thing I've ever heard. She says, she was at a defining moment in her life, and God said, if you choose this, I will support you. But I want you to realize that in making this choice, you are abandoning the something better that I have for you. Like by choosing to survive and to stay safe and to keep treading water, when you make that choice and you let your brain do its thing, you're also choosing to abandon swimming, thriving, being your wealthy self. So I hope that all of this is like got your brain going and thinking, because this is what I want to really support you with this morning, is the other part of that. Recognizing that survival mode is going to block wealth. Survival mode is actually not safe. Even though your brain has you convinced that it actually is the most dangerous place to be if you want to make the most of your life, if you want to fulfill your dreams, if you want to live to the fullness of who you are. Then surviving is not safe. It's actually really dangerous, and it is going to block wealth and abundance. So how do you change that? Number one, you just have to call it what it is, right? The most important thing is, I cannot stay in survival mode. I'm actually not safe. This is really dangerous. Anybody else feels like that? Like, anybody else watching live feels like, wait a second, I thought survival mode was safe, but it's not. It's actually the most dangerous place to be. Anybody else? Gia says so true. If you're watching, let me know in the comments. Like, Tasha, I get it. I'm right there with you. We have to, like, you can't, awareness is 80 to 90% of the solution. So you have to be aware that surviving is not where you want to be. It's actually really dangerous, right? So we have to be able to see that for what it is. Now the second part is, okay, how do I step into abundance with ease? Well, if your brand's identity is predicting the rest of your life, I mean, the answer is really simple. You got to claim a new identity. You literally have to give your brain a new, you know what? Screw that. This is who I am. This is who I really am. This is the identity that I need you, brain, to program my life around, the rest of my life around. Go out there, right? The reticular activating system. Now that you've told your brain this is my new identity, the reticular activating system will now reorganize your life to predict a future that matches this identity that you choose. In our world, we call that the wealthy you. It's like, if I could name this identity for you, it would be the wealthy me. I'm going to tell my brain I'm choosing this new identity. It's the identity I'm choosing is not survivor. It's not the current me. The identity that I'm choosing is the wealthy me, because the wealthy me, abundance is easy. Overflow is natural. Joy is abundant. She is living my most amazing life. So I need my brain to accept her as my identity, not the one that it has built based on my past. There's three quick ways, or simple ways, that we do that. Number one is all neuroscience based, which is you need to give your brain a new program. That this program, if we were to call it a name, it would be wealthy me. So imagine you literally reprogram your brain with an identity that says wealthy me. Now your brain does the heavy lifting of reorganizing your life to make it a match for the wealthy you identity. Just like right now, it's making a match for the survivor identity, and you can't get out of the loop of survivor mode. If you give it a new identity, it will do the work. That's why I love this, is that I don't have to do the heavy lifting. I just have to let my brain know who I'm choosing to be now. And the brain's job is to make it true. The second thing is quantum science, quantum theory. What I love about this is that all I have to do is choose that version of me. Right now, if I look to the future that my brain has predicted, there is like an infinite number of versions of me that are all different varieties of surviving, right? But there's also the possibility of a future life where it's my wealthy life. All I have to do is choose that reality. Once I choose, and we know a lot about the observer effect from quantum physics, right? Whatever future reality I choose is the one that I get to live the rest of my life. And the last one is scripture. It's Very, I grew up hearing this. It's so interesting. I went to church yesterday and it was baptism Sunday, and it was all about being born again. And if you're Christian and you're a believer and you were raised hearing being born again, for me, I always like the very religious Christian context that my little mind heard was you are born again one time, you get baptized, right? You get submerged in water, you're born again, and now you're a Christian, you're a believer, you walk out the rest of your life. But that was a code for life. This being born again, it says renew your mind, choose to be born again, and you can do it every second of the day. I was laughing at myself because I wrote about my wealthy life. My wealthy life takes luxury vacations, and I journaled about my wealthy life, and she's taking all of these luxury vacations. And I just got back from Croatia and Italy, and this summer we went to Dubai and Egypt and Madrid and Portugal. Lisbon. I can't remember all the places. And I was just sitting there going, wow, I manifested it, right? And then I realized, wait a second, I did manifest it, but I also paid for all of it. It's like, I get to go back and redefine, be born again as another version of wealthy me where somebody else pays for this. Right? So it's all just like this amazing game of giving yourself an opportunity to not be the current you, but to be the wealthy version of you that you choose, to identify as her. And your brain and science and scriptural laws will do the rest. I mean, I don't know about you, but how does it get any better than that? I love having all the things support me and do the work for me. And I think you do too. So if you are here this morning and you're like, Tasha, I can see myself in survival mode. And I'm just in this loop. It's like my client says, it's exhausting. I'm exhausted. I'm tired of seeing what's possible and not being able to pull it down into my reality. And the only thing that's stopping me is that my brain has decided it's not safe. And I don't know how to stop that. I really need some help to shift into this wealthy me identity. Then I want you to type the word identity in the chat, right? Those of you that are watching on Instagram, Facebook, if you're also on IG, you should be able to receive a DM or a link. So hang on a second. Let me put this up just so, in case you forgot how to spell identity, type the word identity. Check your DMs if you're on Facebook. You should get a link if you're on YouTube, and just follow the prompts to register. But here's the thing. I'm going to guide you through an 88-minute identity activation ceremony, because this version of you, she's not somewhere out there you have to go search and find her. You don't have to jump through cartwheels. It's not a 12-step program. It's literally in 88 minutes, you will have chosen her, and the rest will take care of itself. So type the word identity, get yourself registered, invite all the women that you know. Let us end the year leaving this survival mode in 2025. Right? Let us choose the wealthy me identity. Let me support you in stepping into her before this year is over. And the most important part, when you register, make sure you do VIP. Like for $22, you get to make an active, conscious choice to just be her now. Be VIP, because that's how she rolls. She's VIP everything. So make sure you get registered for VIP too as you're going through the registration process. This activation is all about, like I said, it's not going and finding a version of you that, like making her up. It's about awakening the wealthy woman within, who creates wealth from identity, not effort. Creating wealth from effort is really like, it works. I'm not going to beat it. It works. And there is a time and place for us to be in effort. But what we really want to do is we want to embody the identity of wealth so that the laws of science and physics cause all of the things in our life to reflect back to us that this identity really is who you are. That is the easier way easier than just grinding it out and trying to overcome survival mode. Way easier, right? So That's what I had to share with you all this morning. I just want to end by saying, can we just begin this embodiment by all of you typing hashtag the wealthy me, hashtag the wealthy me. Let me see. All of you, I'm going to jump back in the comments. Hashtag the wealthy me. Like this is, every week I'm going to try my best to remember, let's hashtag this out because I want us every single Monday to reclaim this version of us, to awaken her. Hashtag the wealthy me. I'm choosing her this week, starting the week off as her. Hashtag the wealthy me. Thank you, Mia. Susan says, I love easy. Yeah, I love easy too. Susan, that's me. I love easy. Like, I don't want it to be hard. Lord have mercy, life's been hard enough all along. All right, everyone. I love you all. Happy Monday. Have a great week. And I will see you next week, Wednesday, the 29th, for the Wealthy Me identity activation. Let's sort this all out. Leave survival mode in 2025. It's so 2025.